up, y'all? It's that time of the year again. It seems like it's almost always that time of the year. Mercury retrograde, whatever other term you want to call it. The time where Mercury goes in reverse and your exes might come back, your communication's all jumbled, technology might be messed up, you might have car issues, travel issues, delays with like contracts or obligations, or whatever your plans are, and it seems like it lasts forever. We're currently, actually until tomorrow, in the shadow period, but Mercury retrograde starts November 25th. And so let's just dive in a little bit and talk about what Mercury retrograde is and give a couple of tips for success. So Mercury, can you tell it's starting? I can't, I've already been jumbled, even more jumbled than I typically am. So bear with me, y'all. Mercury retrograde is the planet of communication, technology, travel. So when it goes in reverse during a retrograde, that's what happens. The planet goes and moves in reverse. So everything kind of is jumbled. The energy is mixed up. And things are thrown off. So during this time, as I mentioned in the beginning, you might have a lot of issues with like speaking. As you saw, my words were jumbled, or your battery might not start in your car, or your computer might have some issues. So make sure you're always saving and paying attention to detail during Mercury retrograde. Extra, 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 because don't fuck around and find out. Okay. So currently Mercury retrograde begins this November, like I said, November 25th, which is tomorrow. It'll be in the sign of Sagittarius, a fiery, powerful sign associated with adventure and expansion and big picture ideas and thinking. So this retrograde potentially could challenge your ability to clearly communicate about our beliefs, our plans, our ambitions, different adventures, or big picture ideas that we might have. So a tip for success: stay grounded in facts and avoid making assumptions or jumping to conclusions. Number two, you can expect delays and miscommunication during Mercury retrograde. Retrogrades often disrupt communication because, like I said, Mercury is the planet that controls communication or represents communication, and during this time it's going backwards. So your communication might get disrupted and your travel might get disrupted. So make sure your emails are being sent, documents are being saved, you're paying extra close attention to detail, you're adding extra time into your travel plans because things might happen. So just be extra careful during this time. It's also a time to reflect. Retrogrades are not a great time in general. Now, this is different, astrology is different for everybody because there's so many different components. There's different planets, there's different houses, there's different degrees. There's so many different things that come into play. So it's not a one size fits all type of deal, just like human design is not a one size fits all type of deal. It's specifically very uniquely created for you. You have to find your birth chart details. But it's a time to reflect because it's not stereotypically a great time to launch new ideas or projects or sign contracts or get into new obligations or partnerships and all of those things. It's best, they say, to wait a little bit. Don't rush the process. Maybe wait till Mercury retrograde is over, or at least make sure you allow some extra time to read through the fine print or actually think through what you're going to do before you just, decide to go ahead and commit to it. So a tip for success would be to reflect on your goals and how your actions align with your long-term vision and plans and what you want to do in the future. And then also another tip for success would be to double check all of your plans and emails and travel arrangements, and practice patience when any delays may arise because it's out of our control. So also during during Mercury retrograde, this is a time for karmic lessons and experiences and people to kind of pop back up. And so karmic doesn't necessarily mean bad. I know we may automatically go to that when we hear the word karmic, but really what karmic means is just there's a lesson tied to it or associated with it, or there's still something left to learn, something lingering. So it might not be an ex that or someone from your past that you have super ill feeling towards. Like maybe life just happened and then you guys kind of went your several ways, or timing was off and like whatever, but it wasn't actually like a terrible fallout. Maybe they'll come back, but you guys have another lesson to learn or a cycle to actually complete this go around. So don't go into it with a negative, headspace when you hear the karmic lessons or older experiences, people, situations might pop back up. I know we always want new oftentimes, but sometimes we learn from our past. Actually, we always learn from our past, but that doesn't mean our past is always good for us. Anyways, I'm digressing. So a tip for success would be to approach these moments with an open heart, be compassionate, but also maintain clear boundaries with yourself if needed. If someone or something is not good for you, they're not good for you, even if they want to come back and, finish a cycle. It doesn't have to be finished by like getting back together or whatever. It could just be a closure type of conversation. Also, technology may act up. Like I said, save your documents. Mercury retrograde is infamous for having extra technological like glitches and issues. So save your work often, pay attention to detail, and be prepared for any type of issues to pop up. So just have a backup plan, backup document, save, external hard drive, things like that. Update your software, and then just triple check, your important documents and files before sharing them or turning off your computer. Also, communication requires extra clarity because Mercury is now going backwards. So your communication might be jumbled. You might have a hard time speaking. Sagittarius energy can amplify the desire to speak boldly, but during this retrograde period, miscommunication, can be prone. You can be prone to miscommunication. So choose your words carefully, think through what you're going to say, take your time speaking if you have to, because your words are jumbled like mine. You might have to speak a little slower. Maybe your brain's moving too fast for your mouth or something. That seems to be my problem. So, listen more than you speak and confirm understanding in your conversations. Just, ask for clarity before making assumptions. It's also a great time for self-discovery during Mercury retrograde. It's great for self-reflection about your beliefs and your values and trying to see if you're in alignment with your truth and where you actually want to go. Are you happy with where you are in life? It's in the sign of Sagittarius, so are you expanding and experiencing life the way that you really want to and feels fulfilling to you? So pause and reflect before making major commitments or purchases. And then also you can use this time to journal about your beliefs and intentions and how your beliefs and thought patterns can shape your actions. This also isn't a good time to make impulsive decisions. Sagittarius love freedom and spontaneity, so during this retrograde, impulsive choices may backfire. So just take some time before you fully dive in and make a commitment. Travel may come with challenges, so plan ahead. Keep your itineraries and everything flexible and double check your reservations. And then revisit old ideas can be helpful and fruitful. I mean, it's a good time for self-reflection. And I mentioned earlier that you learn from your past, so revisiting your old ideas could bring about new ideas, new ways to grow, new ways to show up, improved ways to show up, or it could just trigger something in you that's really great for you. Sagittarius energy also supports big, big ideas, big thinking, expansive thoughts. So it's a chance to like reconnect your dreams to yourself and put some intention into them and some life into them. So reevaluate your old plans with a fresh perspective and see what else, like what new flames can be reignited, what new ideas can come from them, what new paths can be paved from them. And also remember that your emotional energy matters. So your ability to navigate Mercury retrograde right now depends on your own inner peace and balance. So you can utilize human design to learn more about yourself, see what gates are active that day, and reflect on how like your emotional energy is like shows up. So you can look at your emotional solar plexus center. Is it defined? Is it undefined? Open? What gates are defined? And see how that is influencing you at this time. So you can focus also on grounding practices, journal, meditation, breathing. You could dance. Just do something to bring like light and life and happiness to you, inspiring movement. And especially too, if you have an undefined emotional solar plexus center in human design, you're taking in and amplifying all of the external emotional energy around you. So it's really important to take time away to ground and filter out that energy to make sure the emotions that you're feeling are actually yours during Mercury retrograde, and you're not actually just amplifying the emotions of the people around you. So here is a journal prompt that I would like to share with you for Mercury retrograde. Which beliefs, patterns, or ideas in my life need to be revisited or realigned? How can I use this time to reflect on what truly matters and release what no longer serves me? So you can think about that, jot down your ideas, just allow yourself to free write and free flow. There's no right or wrong. Like the purpose of journaling is to get out everything that's inside that like we're keeping in. So freehand it, let your ideas flow, put some intention onto yourself and self-reflection, and don't be fearful of this Mercury retrograde. It happens, I think, 3 times a year. It happens several times a year. We're not new to this, okay? We just need to learn how to maneuver through the energy. It shifts a little bit depending on what sign it's in, but overall, slow down your communication, pay attention to your communication, think things through before you say them, think things through before you commit to them. Don't just jump into things. Pay more attention to your cars, your technology, save your documents. Make sure you've got oil in your car. Make sure you've got gas in your tank. Make sure your tires have an adequate amount of air in them. Make sure, all the little things. Just put extra attention on them during this period. So stay safe out there, y'all. Stay aware. Don't fuck around and find out, because Mercury will show you. But thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.